This AI-powered chatbot program to simulate human conversation was made available to the public. We're going to create a listing description, and Bobby has it typed in down below.
But this thing is just unbelievable. I mean,
It's
that
insane.
spat it out in 2.5 seconds. It's in perfect English.
Welcome back to this week's edition of The Walkthrough, where we go deep on real estate's most trending topics every single week with a rotating panel of the industry's brightest minds. Yes, that even includes you, Dan. I am Byron Lazine, your host, along with my co-host, Eric Simon, the broke agent. Daniel Sophisticated O'Neill is back, returning to the walkthrough many a times. He brings a lot of energy to the panel. Dan has the #1 team on Long Island, and he has long been BAM's best moderator when it comes to our live debates. If you missed the appraisal debate, definitely go and check that out.
That's the first compliment you've ever given me ever.
Yes.
Can we screen record that?
It's only so that you don't name your dog after me, as you threatened to do many times.
Little baby Byron.
For the first time on the walkthrough, we just announced him as a BAM creator this week. Troy Palmquist. He is a broker who has done over $3 billion in sales. He's the founder of Dora Properties. He's a speaker and writer in the industry. You may have read many of his articles in the past. He is an author, and he is coming from Ventura, California, to join us for the walkthrough. Welcome to your first walkthrough, Troy.
Thanks, guys. Pretty cool opportunity. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you as a BAM creator, and we're really looking forward to jamming. The first topic we're going to go over in just a second is written by Troy, and it has been highly debated in the industry.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
That's right. Eric, I think you have something to say. Eric?
Yes, this walkthrough is presented by Keeping Current Matters, your go-to source for the insights and content you need to be the market expert. KCM is the best in the business at taking the latest housing data and curating it into powerful visuals and marketing content for video and social media that helps you look great and gives you tons of value for your clients and your prospects. At a time when the market's changing and consumers are asking questions most agents don't know how to answer, KCM makes it easy to build your brand as the market expert. Check out trykcm.com/BAM so you can master the market and your marketing today. There's a link down below.
Give a thumbs up for Eric actually struggling through that ad read, and give a thumbs up for KCM altogether.
That felt like I was back in Temple, and my cantor called on me, and I had to recite some Hebrew right there. But
do you have something to say, Eric? I thought he was about to apologize to the masses for his hideous look today. Holy crap!
All right, let's jump into the first topic. This one, I mean, I saw this all over the place on social. Troy, you authored it. Does the real estate industry have a drinking problem? You wrote the article, Troy. I'm going to let you frame up the article and the argument here.
So I think, whether you look at it as, does the real estate industry have a drinking problem, or is it more of a stigma? I think it's, reading the comments, it kind of goes both ways. I think that the industry through social media has really stigmatized what we do, more than it is a problem. At least that's what I went into writing the article, thinking that, we want to be held to a certain professionalism and caliber of professionalism as we, represent people with the largest transactions of their life. And here we are posting that I need a cocktail at 3:00 because this home inspection was horrible, or this buyer's a pain in the ass and I need a drink, right? And it's just, I think it's becoming more and more prevalent because it's been cool. And so is it a problem, or is it the stigma that's kind of coming along with it? My biggest one, if you go back on my Instagram story, I did it as a highlight, but it was the open house article that 10 weeks ago the open house Instagram. And it was like, coming in hung over, no pen, no sign-in sheet. And it was like, it needs to be an article. Like, that was a tipping point for me 10 weeks ago. It's like, This is going to be an article at some point. And just
was that a meme on the broke
I've definitely
agent?
posted that.
it
before.
was, yeah, it was
Yes.
the broke agent one.
Yeah.
So I have maybe something to do with this stigmatization of the real estate.
Eric has
industry.
made it cool to be an alcoholic showing up to open houses. Eric, the comments were wild. Your take. What did you think of Troy's article?
I thought it was a great article. I think it's a conversation that has to be had. I mean, I've definitely played a role in this, I guess. I mean, I talk about real estate agents going to happy hour and getting drunk, or, doing hungover showings. I've been a part of a few of those in my real estate career. I'm sure Dan has as well. Byron, of course, you're perfect. You've never done anything like that.
Thank you.
But
most accurate thing you've ever said.
Yeah. I think something else, there's a big aspect of the real estate community when we go to conferences where this really comes to the forefront. And I think the reason behind that is these real estate conferences are just these massive gatherings of agents in the middle of the week. They get to leave their real estate business behind, probably their spouses behind, from a lot of what I've seen. And there's happy hour after happy hour, and it does get sloppy. And I don't know if it's necessarily a problem. It's fun to do some of this for sure. But I think it's just this general release. And I don't think it's just the real estate industry. I think it's sales in general. I think a lot of tech sales jobs, lawyers, like anybody in a high stress industry that are dealing with clientele like this might turn to the bottle to alleviate some of that pain.
It's to your point. It's not just conferences, because, Bravo and Netflix have done such a great job of sensationalizing the industry. You could call that a great job, or, some people consider that a bad job, but you see an open house, a broker's open, and it's champagne, it's drinking, it's people having a good time. Agents also fall into the trap of like, okay, what do I get my client? I gotta stop by and drop them off a bottle of wine. Now maybe the client's opening the bottle of wine, or I need to go and have a 10-minute meeting with people. Let's go have a drink. Might be better than coffee, especially if that person enjoys having a drink. And now you find yourself into a situation where it's like, I'm drinking 5 out of 7 days. Dan, your take on the article, and does the industry have a drinking problem? Dan O'Neill, answer the question truthfully, please.
Truthfully, I also may have a little bit behind the stigma. I certainly like to have fun along with Eric. We know that, Byron, you never have fun. But I definitely do think that it's probably more accurate than inaccurate. And as somebody that participates every now and then, there's holiday parties, there's conferences. People use these events as excuses to get hammered. I just left Miami, and it was my first weekend off since July. I drank for the first time in 6 weeks, and I hate it. I hate myself. Like I don't feel right. And I'm probably not going to be drinking for a while. And honestly, though, like as agents in our industry, we're so stressed and there's so much on our plate. Yeah, we like to have fun. Our business is a lot of networking, and getting out and having drinks makes it a little bit easier. But I can say that any other industry that I've ever either known or been a part of, it's been the same. I mean, my mother is a dental hygienist. Her holiday party is like, you wouldn't believe it. It's insane. The hospitality industry is the same. My father owns a landscape masonry company. We could not even leave the job site without stopping at 7-Eleven to grab beers on the way home. So I think the stigma is there, but I think it's really society in general.
So, but
I was going to say contractors drinking Bud Heavies after the job site is just prevalent. It is like something that happens all the time. Go ahead, Troy.
But that's industry standard for contractors, right?
Yeah.
But my mother's a dental hygienist. She doesn't even drink. Her holiday parties, like you would have thought they were in Vegas. Meanwhile, they're
take aside the conferences and the Christmas parties, right, or the holiday parties. That's across the platforms, right? No matter whether it's the dental people, the lawyers, the accountants, or even SEMA. Like there's always going to be that at those types of events. It's that. Is it glamorized to go at 3:00 for happy hour and have too much to drink and then go back to work? Is it the cheers, but it is
water.
Water, but you bring it back to the fact that we're, sitting down, writing a purchase contract for somebody, and you've got the glass of wine right there and you're advertising it.
Yeah.
That's like I think
Instagram
that's where it's
story.
And that's just where it's really adding the fuel to the fire, I think, aside from the conferences, again, because that's everywhere, right?
Yeah, I can say, like, where I am from, the people that I know, like Northeast, that doesn't exist. Like maybe that's glamorized, like LA, selling Beverly Hills. Like taste of champagne. Who enjoys that anyway? But I agree with you with that. But if I see somebody that's drinking at 3 p.m. on their Instagram story, like they're not going to be in this business much longer.
Reading directly from the article, Troy, that you wrote, but we want to be treated like professionals. One of the things you hear real estate agents and brokers talk about all the time when they're justifying their commissions, and boy, I agree with you there. People are always trying to justify that. And the respect they feel they're owed is a comparison with other professional figures like attorneys, CPAs, and doctors. I mean, I'm right there with you, and I've used the comparison many a times. Hey, you know, if you're thinking about selling the house on your own, would you go and you know, do your own surgery, or do you want somebody who does it over and over again? Do you want that part-time agent who does a deal 4 times a year, or do you want somebody like Troy who's got $3 billion of sales experience under his belt with the companies he's owned and operated? You know, I'm choosing the professional, the high-level professional each and every single time. And there's an argument to be made there. But to your point, Troy, if our presence on social, if our presence online is speaking to something non-professional, especially in 2023, when the decisions are going to become ultra important for somebody who's buying, selling, or investing, we're hurting our chances of being taken seriously. We're starting to put ourselves, you know, by our own actions in that group of the sleazy salesperson, of the used car salesman or woman. Listen, I have something on my phone here that I read every single day, and it says, successful people control themselves, right? And so if you want to be ultra successful, whether it's in real estate or another profession, you've got to control yourself in your actions. You can't be sloppy with it. And drinking too much will create a sloppiness. Portraying somebody who drinks all the time on social can have an impact with some people in your database, some of your followers, some of the people that could decide to work with you. And certainly it might impact the decision, you know, that you have to make later on in the night in a negotiation or a counter or whatever the case may be.
But Byron, I would also argue, and while I 1,000,000% agree with you in that take, I would also argue, and my problem is not that I'm drinking during the week. I don't go out during the week. I don't go to happy hours. My problem, like being very self-aware, is the once every 3 months that I do go out, I tend to binge drink and I'm hurting for a week, right? Like that's
right.
my problem. But I'm not the one posting every day of drinks.
No, you're not.
But I will tell you, in my opinion, like posting about Camus or posting a cigar or a really good glass of wine, that has almost helped my brand, because now when I go on an appointment, people are like, "Oh, you didn't bring any Camus? Like, come on, man!" Right? They associate, or they can relate to me based off of some of the wines I like and or the cigars. Again,
I was just going to say,
but you're not posting it next to the contract that you're writing. And I think that's the big key takeaway, right? Like, because wine, cigars, cars, you know, all of that stuff is great, you know, catalysts and stuff. It's like, you know, we were talking this morning, you know, and talking about wine. 82 Mouton Rothschild's what I want to drink tonight. You know, does that make me a bad person on Instagram, or does it, you know, no, because it's in the context of something else. Yeah.
If you look at how John Grauman presents himself online, and John's, you know, one of the biggest agents that's working, you know, Beverly Hills. Yeah, Troy, you may know John just from being in the business, and he's obviously on the new show with Netflix with the agency. John is super professional, well-spoken, looks good, and he's representing 10, 15, 20 plus $1 million properties. And he's on the Byron Lazine podcast a while back when I had him on, he gives the example of, you know, you want to work with the professional, the doctor, using that. He also is extremely articulate when it comes to wine. It's one of the connectors he has with that luxury clientele. He can speak with the best of the best in Napa Valley when it comes to explaining what he is tasting in a wine, what he's smelling. It's amazing to listen to him. And even as a podcast where he's doing some wine tasting and talking business, like a round table, and the way he does it, I don't have any sense of him being lacking professionalism. It's actually like, whoa, this dude is highly intelligent, and he's a great agent, and he's a wine expert. It's like, it like happens to be one of his hobbies and something he's passionate about. And, you know, it's a strong attribute to who he is.
So
think
there is
alcohol
ways to.
has-
Sorry, there
Go ahead,
are
Troy.
ways to pair it. It's just got to be done in the professional, element, right? Like, look, Dan likes to go to bottle service. You see it on his Instagram stories every once in a while, right?
Oh
Who
god.
does? Who
I just
doesn't,
met you.
right?
You throw me under the bus already?
Danny
Oh,
bottle service.
But
you
but
belong
like,
here. I'm out.
but the bottle service is in a particular environment, right? And it might be with clients at a party or this, but
Drink
like,
once every 3 months.
Hey,
But
I'm a
Danny,
changed man. Did I
yeah,
drink
you're a
at
changed man.
Summit?
But
but
listen,
he's not writing a purchase contract at bottle
correct.
service.
But it's also, I
Like-
think, done a positive for your brand, Dan, and for the broke agent brand. Like when I go to these events, I think the drinking and the alcohol aspect to it, I mean, have we indulged a little bit too much every now and then? Yes. And, that's not necessarily a great look sometimes, but I think we do provide like a really fun atmosphere. And it's not necessarily because of the alcohol, but if it's handled in a correct way, I think it's done wonders for the brand. Like it's allowed me to have a little social lubricant when I'm at these conferences. Before I knew Byron, before I knew you, and I was just going to these myself wearing the broke agent shirt, like going to these parties and meeting people. That's how I met Byron, was over a beer. That's, how I met you basically. So all these like relationships and everything that you develop at conferences and at happy hours and stuff, I think it is okay in terms of that, as long as you're not sloppy, as long as you're not posting about it on your Instagram with a contract.
My other big problem with it is that, we drive for a living, right? And you go and you have these brokers opens where you're having cocktails or seltzers or whatever, right? And then you're getting back in the car to go to the next house who's got champagne or this or that. It's almost roulette to see when you're going to get pulled over. And if you get that DUI in California, it's a felony, and the felony has to be reported to the Division of Real Estate. So now you've risked going to this activity, having a beer, having stuff. Yeah, you're risking your career.
I like how you finish the article. Controlling your intake as a competitive advantage. This kind of speaks to what I was talking about, on my phone. Successful people control themselves. You got to know the environment you're going into. Just, today, this evening, we're doing the holiday party for the team in Connecticut. And I've got to know what I'm walking into. Okay. I've got 75 people who work for me, and, some of them are going to bring their spouses and whatnot. And that environment, there's no place for me to be sloppy. There's no place for me to be buying bottles, drinking bottles. I'll probably literally have one glass of wine and that'll be it. And oh, by the way, I'm not even driving out of there. So that's now you get me on vacation, in the Virgin Islands, and I'm not driving, and I'm with a couple people that are friends, family members. It may be one every half hour, depending, in that scenario. So I think understanding the environment that you're in, being disciplined about it, and just because there's drinks available doesn't mean you have to go all in on them. That's my take. Eric, final thoughts on this, and anything from the comments you thought that was particularly interesting. Eric, before you do that, I do think from my viewpoint on the comments and some accounts I've seen on TikTok, it is becoming really cool in 2022, 2023 to be sober. It is something that is actually gaining a lot of steam.
There's an enormous sober curious movement happening right now. And
so will the broke agent go to showing up to an open house sober?
We could have the sober.
I never drank at open
right
houses or showed up to open houses.
The sober agent.
No. The account, will we post showing up sober, walking in with the open house signs?
No, because that's not
funny. 10 minutes before you
That's...
came on, Eric was doing JD shots, before we went.
Yeah, how else can I handle this conversation? No, the comments were really positive, and a lot of people were using this article and saying like, yeah, this was a huge problem for me in the business. I've been sober for 5 years. Reach out to me. I saw this, 10, 20 times on people's Instagram stories. And the Facebook comments, whenever I post an alcohol related meme, are usually viciously attacking me, saying like, stop glorifying alcohol. But with this article, all the comments were very positive on both Facebook and Instagram. So I think a lot of people do feel this way about how it's either hurt their business or it's a bad look for our business. But if it's done tastefully, and if it's done in a fun environment, keep doing it. Come to the next BAM Bash.
Yeah, the comments exceeded what I thought was going to happen. I thought I was going to get like brutally murdered in the comments of like, no, maybe you do, no. And to see the support and what people were saying that they did have a problem, and how many people that are sober commented that they've been, sober, and it exceeded my expectations of what the feedback was going to be.
Great article, Troy. For more articles written by Troy, make sure you're going over to the website, which of course is linked below, and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed that discussion. Topic number 2. Is this the end of agents, or is this maybe definitely the end of them having to hire administrative assistants? OpenAI ChatGPT. This has been on the All In podcast. Troy, you referenced pre-show Wall Street Journal article. I'm looking at a Forbes article you sent in our text. This is like kind of taken storm this week, all in the discussion of the tech world. This AI-powered chatbot, a software program to simulate human conversation, was made available to the public just this past November 30th via OpenAI's website. And while it is still in the research review phase, users can sign up and test it out free of charge. We're about to test it for you in just a second. Oh, Bobby, I see you jumping over there. Just hold on just a second, Bobby. We're going to test this out. ChatGPT uses the GPT 3.5 language technology, a large artificial intelligence model made by OpenAI that has been trained on a massive amount of text data from a variety of sources. Okay, so the first time I heard about this was last week's All In podcast, and they basically had the ChatGPT listen to their old podcasts and come up with their own podcast of the four. It was simulated a conversation. We're gonna take it from a real estate angle here. Bobby's gonna share his screen, and this is the ChatGPT, the OpenAI website that they have, where anybody can go on, by the way, and do what we're about to do. We're gonna create a listing description, and Bobby has it typed in down below. A listing description for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home in Naples, Florida, with a pool and a 2-car garage. If you're on YouTube, just watch what is happening. And if you're listening, we'll read this off to you. This is happening in real time. This beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath home located in Naples, Florida, and boasts 15,000 square feet of living space. The home features spacious living area, a fully equipped kitchen, and a luxurious backyard with a sparkling pool and a 2-car garage. The home is perfect for those looking for a relaxing and comfortable space to call home. Come see all that this property has to offer. Make it your own. It's done. It's written. Exclamation point at the end.
I hope it's not a fixer.
I read that. It was written in 2.5 seconds, guys.
That was incredible. Yeah. Besides the use of the word spacious and luxurious and
okay, because spacious, you're right. 1,500 square feet. It's like, okay, that's realtor fluff. This is spacious. Right. I mean, these bedrooms are the size of a shoebox here. Let's do another one. Let's come up with a listing description for what? Dan, pick something on Long Island.
I just listed a new construction this morning for $1.2 million, 3,800 square feet. You can customize from top to bottom in a beautiful neighborhood, highly desirable neighborhood, cul-de-sac.
It was 1.2 million. You got the cul-de-sac, Bobby.
Let's see if AI knows cul-de-sac. Let's see if they know that one.
We're watching Bobby type, so unfortunately we'll be here for probably eternity. Bobby is a video producer. He is not a copywriter. 3,800 square foot house. It's located on a cul-de-sac. Can you pick your finishes, or was it finished?
Pick your finishes.
Pick your finishes.
Open floor plan. Energy efficient.
Energy efficient. What is this? One of the.
I don't want to give it too much. I want to see what it comes up with.
Okay. Yeah. So let's not give it any more. What was this one? A handsome home buyers properties?
You don't want to give it too much. That's the point of this. It's supposed to be taking over humans. No, we're getting rid of our administrative.
Okay.
Can't handle energy efficient, or is that just
all right? Settle down.
We're running another listing description here. Go ahead. Let it roll. Let's see what it comes up with.
Dan, I do like how well you know the house, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Was this a handsome home buyer home?
Wow, this is incredible.
Dan, handsome home buyer home or no?
No, it's not handsome, but shout out to him. He's the man.
All right, here's this description. This is longer. This was quick. This was less than 10 seconds for sure that it wrote the description. The stunning new construction home is located on a cul-de-sac and offers 3,800 square feet of living space. The home features an open floor plan, allowing for plenty of natural light and flexibility in the layout. The spacious, they like the word spacious, this bot. The spacious living area flows seamlessly into the gourmet kitchen, making it perfect for entertaining. With this property, you have the opportunity to pick your own finishes and make it your dream home. The property also boasts a luxurious outdoor space, perfect for enjoying the beautiful weather. Don't miss out on the opportunity to own this one-of-a-kind home in a desirable location. Contact us today to schedule a showing and make this the house of your own. My God, I have been so like such a proponent of, hey, why, if you're an agent, would you ever write your own listing description? Hire somebody to work for you who can do this, whether this is an in-house assistant, a listing coordinator, maybe you're training a virtual assistant to write, maybe you have a writer on staff. But I've always said agents have sat there in their office for an hour. I've seen agents struggle for 2 hours. I've seen agents come back the next day and rewrite a listing description because 95% of agents don't know how to write, and they want it to sound perfect, and they don't want to offend, the seller and all of this kind of information. We've always said, hey, go get a Google sheet, have 5 questions, have the seller fill it out. So it's the seller's words that you can take and have a writer now take the photos, the seller's words, and make a listing description. But an agent, a sales professional, should not be spending time writing a listing description. Now, oh boy, you better believe, hey, Denise down there, you might be out of a task. Okay. So we're going to have to fill your plate with something else, because we're going to take the seller's words from this Google form and we're going to jump it into this OpenAI and see what it comes up with. Now, wait till the day that you can just dump the photos. You can only dump text into this. Wait till the day you can dump photos into this.
Studio
OpenAI.
does that. Did you see? I sent you guys a link.
It'll see the photos. The studio will see the photos and then write a description.
It writes it off the description, off the photos.
Does it do it in 2.5 seconds with perfect
No,
English?
that was impressive. The one thing that I would be really hesitant with using it and just posting it is, on the compliance standpoint, is it going to say jacuzzi when it's a hot tub or walking distance?
I think you have to. I think you have to review.
You have to edit it, but does it?
It gives you the baseline of everything, and then you go in there and change a couple words for 2 minutes. I remember doing this when I first got my license. It was my job to write property descriptions for houses that were 10,000 square feet, mansions in Bel Air and Beverly Hills, and I had no idea what I was talking about. This would have been the best tool on the face of the earth. There's a lot of people there's someone called MLS Writer, I think, that does this, that actually is taking property descriptions from agents and writing them herself. But this thing is just unbelievable. I mean, that's insane. Spat it out in 2.5 seconds. It's in perfect English. Dan, I mean, what did your property descriptions look like before this?
I mean, I hopefully nobody looks up the listing, because it is not an eighth of what that was. And that was
3 emojis. It was 2
literally
champagne glasses, the 2 beer mugs, and a martini glass.
Exactly. But I will tell you, my stance on this has changed in the last 7 minutes, and now I am a little bit fluttered as to what to say. But I will say that agents, or top producing agents, they understand the highest and best use of their time, like Byron had mentioned. So for every $100,000 of annual earnings somebody makes, that's like $50 an hour. If you make $100,000 a year and you're doing tasks like scheduling showings, writing out your MLS descriptions, inputting listings, organizing mail campaigns, then you're doing probably $10 to $15 an hour activities, or literally free activities, instead of doing the $50 an hour activities like going on appointments, showing houses, making your calls, calling your sphere. So that right there just changed my stance. That was very impressive. I would input my information. I would then review it, copy and paste, and upload. And I just saved $20 an hour, $15 an hour.
Troy, Troy, let me just frame something up real quick. You're an author. You've authored a book. Eric claims to be an author as well. You guys are both, I guess, by definition. Here's what I will say: you guys are both fantastic writers.
Yes,
and it still takes me a bottle of wine, 2 hours to write the description, and somebody still has to edit it afterwards.
So you drink when you write property descriptions, huh?
So,
interesting.
No, very
interesting, Troy.
I don't anymore, but
hypocrisy here.
Yeah.
So you guys are 2 of the best writers in the entire industry. No question about it. You're fantastic writers. When you see something like that, do you believe this will replace some writers, many writers, all writers in the future? What will this do to disrupt copywriting in the future?
I'll say this. At my brokerage, we pay for every property description to get written. on a listing site, because one, I want the compliance factor to know that it doesn't say walking distance. I want to make sure that it doesn't say jacuzzi versus spa. I want to make sure it's grammatically correct, because no matter what the price of the house is, they deserve a professionally written, grammatically correct description, right? And we use Christy Murdoch. She's a fabulous writer for that stuff. She's an Inman writer too. And they come back quick turnaround times, right? I think
what's her process? What's her process? Photos and notes from you guys?
Photos, and then the facts and the features, right? So you're still taking that stuff to put it together, right? So I think that if you take this and this AI aspect and you go through the facts and features, it's almost like back in the day when you would do voiceover videos for a walkthrough of a house, right? There was this form, you'd go through, you'd check out the foyer has this, the living room has this. If you dump all of that content into this AI, the more powerful the description is going to actually be.
I think from a writing perspective, like, can this do humor though? Can it do creative writing? I think when it's in, pulling out facts from a property description, yeah, it could spit together something that has no personality or voice to it. But if I'm writing a blog and I'm trying to be funny and I'm trying to have these tangents and tell like a hypothetical in the middle of it, there's no way this can do that. So yes, it can replace copywriting, but it can't replace my personality.
But it can.
Your personality is irreplaceable. Go ahead.
Yeah,
was it the Wall Street Journal
it actually
article?
Is.
The Wall Street Journal article said that it'll go through and complete essays and stuff for people.
Well, essays,
essays and
soft essays.
Most notably, and this is right now, this is the beginning. Okay, so most notably, ChatGPT has been able to generate intricate Python code and write college-level essays when given a prompt, boasting concerns that such technology can replace human workers like journalists or programmers in the future.
Yeah. Well,
can we
can't
go back
write Commission Impossible. That
all right, so I don't know if are you sharing this right now on the screen? All right, so Bobby just
go back and see if you could put in with humor, write a description.
Well, now Bobby has he has some confident fingers right now. He write a funny blog about alcoholism in the real estate industry. Welcome to the wacky world of real estate, where properties are sold and deals are made, all fueled by the magic of
elixir of alcohol.
Alcohol. Yes. I've never seen that word. I've never seen that word in my life. So already this thing is smarter than I am. Yes, you heard that right.
Sorcerer's Stone.
In the real estate industry, it's not uncommon for agents to indulge in a little liquid courage to get through the day. After all, showing homes, dealing with difficult clients, and navigating guys, this is an AI that wrote this in 12 seconds.
What better way to take the
Look at this. It says,
nice.
look at
You don't think in 10 years this thing's gonna have a better personality than you?
I mean, that's not saying much.
Can you go golfing? Can you go golfing with it, Byron? Does it know all the World Series winners from 1980 to now? Look at this. It says
I'm certain if I become friends with one of these robots, they're going to be nicer than the golf course than you and Danny Deals are going to be.
Fine, kick me out of BAM.
And maybe this thing will pay their
post on Instagram. Does it know what hashtag to use? Does it know what links to use?
Maybe this thing will pay its golf debts too. I don't know.
Listen to this. What it says though.
Year's not over.
But beware, dear reader, the slippery slope can quickly turn into a downward spiral. And before you know it, you're stumbling and bumbling around open houses with a bottle of vodka.
Is that Phil M. Jones? Who the hell? Who's narrating this?
So who wrote a better article about alcohol in the industry? This AI bot or Troy?
Troy wrote a
my voice, Troy. In the comments, let us know what you think.
Let me say one more thing about this. Do you guys remember Smarter Child? Did you have AOL Instant Messaging?
I had AOL, but I don't remember that.
Smarter Child was a computer bot that if your crush didn't pop up, if Soccer Gal 505 wasn't online at 9 o'clock and you've already chatted your buddies about if she's going to pop online or not, you would message Smarter Child and just say like, hey, what's up? Like, tell me a joke, or do you want to see a movie? And Smarter Child would respond with something to you. I remember talking crap to Smarter Child for hours. Like if my crush wouldn't sign on, I'd be like, you Smarter Child, I would just curse at Smarter Child all the time.
But is this not 20.0?
Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you remember Smarter Child.
Is this not 20.0 version of your little friend there, Smarter Child?
My friend. He was my friend. He was a lot of people's friends. The fact that you guys don't know this is...
No, I do. I remember. I obviously don't remember what that name was, 10 years ago. But Byron, last point to this, like I'm a little bit of a control freak with my listing descriptions and with what goes out there that has my name on it. So I don't think I would ever just let it fly and just be like, oh, well, smarter AI, OBGYN.com, put out this, my property description. Like I have to check it and I have to double check. Right. So I don't think it'll
replace a couple words.
Yeah. listen, I would agree with you. Definitely wouldn't want to use this and not double check that. And Troy made some great points about, making sure it's compliant and all of that. I'm definitely thinking about every time I text Delta, I say, representative, please, is the first thing. It goes, A, B, do you want a representative? Yeah, I want a representative because the bot on Delta is trash. I can't get anything done with you. You are garbage. But this might be able to fix that problem for Delta and other companies when you talk about it might replace a lot of chatbots. Okay, let's get into topic number 3. This is on, we link up all the articles in the show notes. So if you're curious about going deeper into these articles, you can do that. This is another BAM article. 8% of homes mortgaged in 2022 are underwater. Okay, this is a Black Knight report. Black Knight's latest mortgage monitor report shows 8% of homes mortgaged in 2022. So homes that were mortgaged this year, let's be very clear on that, are underwater. Over 25% of FHA VA mortgage holders have dipped into negative equity. 80% have less than 10% equity. Housing affordability is close to a 35-year low, yet foreclosures remain near record lows. Okay, so show the KCM chart, which of course you can get these charts if you just go to trykcm.com/BAM. You can try these out, use these in your newsletters or your marketing. Foreclosures are up right now, but they're still near record lows. So here's the 2002 number. It's 88,000. Just erase 2020 and 2021 because those years were so abnormal, and you had you couldn't foreclose on a home even if you wanted to, right? So 2019 and 18 and 17, those were very normal years in real estate, and 278,000 was the foreclosures in the country, right about 278,000 for 2019. The trend was down from 2014. We had about 500,000, which was, a continuous trend down from 2009. So while you're seeing this Black Knight report, this is not anywhere near what we were experiencing in the run up of 03 through 06, certainly not 2007 to 2012. And it's not even close to 2013, all the way up until 2019. It's a quarter of that activity. Troy, is this just the start of really getting back to normal levels, or is this the start of getting to abnormal levels like we saw in 06 to 2012?
I think that the foreclosure market's going to be different going forward forever. One of the reasons is I think with the iBuyers, which nobody really talks about in this avenue, but you have so much of an opportunity to exit before you actually hit foreclosure. You just have to get it sold the day before, right? What iBuyer can't close cash a day or two before the foreclosure? I think when you look at it is that the property values are slowing down on their increase. You've got fewer people that are putting, 3 to 5% down, 10% down. I think that there's that equity buildup in there, but there are going to be the people that bought this year, bought in 2022, that do decide to sell, that might be, in a short position, but does that really mean that they're going to go the foreclosure route?
Yeah, lending standards are dramatically different than they were from 2003 to 2006 when you had this run up of foreclosures that happened from 2007 to 2012. And the other thing, Troy, your point, iBuyers, okay. Also, homeowners just have a ton of equity. Okay, the average homeowner across the country has $300,000 in equity. Dan, what do you got?
So another KCM chart and post is the wealth disparity for older Americans, and you can see the difference between renters and homeowners.
We can get it up. We'll just talk about it because we'll put it up in post.
And I had a buyer the other day that I went to high school with, I grew up with, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna wait until foreclosures start coming out. We know that there's gonna be more." Well, you're probably gonna be waiting a while. I hate these headlines: foreclosures increase. Oh, I saw it on the news. I understand what you're saying. I hear you, but here are the facts. The KCM chart in 2008, 2009, 2 million. Do you know where we were in quarter one, quarter three? 225,000. Are they up from last year? Yes. But are they within the same stratosphere as an 08, 09 level? Not even freaking close. In 08, there was no standards. Eric could say that he was the owner of a Red Lobster making $250,000. But meanwhile, he was really the busboy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. All they would do is call Red Lobster. Hey, does Eric work here? yeah, Eric works here. Click, thank you. Here's a $600,000 loan. So the standards and the lending standards, I just went through a co-op board in Florida. I had to offer up my kidney. Like I feel violated by how in depth they went through my financials. I had to have my accountant write a letter. It's insane. So the lending standards from then versus now are completely different. And are they up? Yes. Foreclosures, are they up from year over year? Yes. Are they in the same world stratosphere as 0809? No.
Eric, how many
This is
Red
a-
Lobsters have you been fired from?
My input is this. This is a Jigglypuff I drew with
Oh
the
my-
flags that say foreclosures on them. I don't know if you guys could see that.
Right. This is how Eric creates memes for the broke agent on Instagram.
Make sure you like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here. If you like my
Yeah, it
Red
looks like
Lobster
you,
now.
Dan.
he pretends he's Gary Vee and does a doodle first and then turns it into a
Yeah, this
a
is
meme.
Frankie the foreclosure right here. This is going to be on VFriend soon.
So while Gary Vee is selling V friends for millions of dollars, Eric is turning them into Instagram posts on the broke agent. Troy, final thoughts on the Black Knight report from you.
I think you just got to take it with a grain of salt. Don't let it get too out of control in the publicity. It's not going to be what it was before, but I think it's going to be a marginal thing.
And listen, they're talking about 2022. So yeah, if you bought January to let's say June of 2022, okay, you bought at the peak of prices, and you may be a buyer that's saying, okay, well, sure, I'm underwater because in my market, maybe I bought in Phoenix, maybe I bought in Vegas, and the market has declined 5-10% in home values.
But even
Okay,
then, the person
I'm-
put 20% down, right?
Yeah, but maybe they put 3.5%. Let's say they put 3.5.
then they're
If they put 3.5, then they're technically underwater on value. But my job didn't change. I have the income, and I'm not planning on moving here. I just bought my dream home. This is the home for me and my family for the next 10 years. So whether I'm underwater right now or not doesn't make a difference to me. I'm going to continue to make my payment at my interest rate, and I'm going to live here, and it's my home. And in 10 years, we'll see where I'm at as a homeowner. And I would bet that their equity is up in 10 years because they're paying down debt and their home is likely to appreciate over the long term.
Byron, what is the single best investment as a human being? I would say real estate historically over time. And my second point that I will make to finish this up is if you see these
So
headlines
that was
and
a quiz.
you're curious, yeah, it was, and you failed, big fat F. But if you are a consumer and you see these headlines and you're confused or maybe you want more context, talk to your professional, talk to your agent, talk to your lender, talk to somebody in your market that can help you and can provide the context for you instead of just seeing foreclosures are up. Hey,
Well,
is this the case?
As agents, we need to get ahead of that. And the subject lines in our email really need to reflect, what's going on and how it relates. I know, Dan, in the Northeast isn't experiencing what Las Vegas is experiencing. It's not experiencing what Phoenix is experiencing in terms of values starting to just drop like a rock. It's not happening in the Northeast. So you want to articulate that on your local radio show, in your local newsletter, whatever the case may be. All right, let's go to our fourth final topic. Instagram's 2023 trend report. Eric, what's the story here? What do we need to know as marketers in our space?
Yeah, this was revolving around Gen Z. There's 4 takeaways from this. Number 1, Gen Z values community over everything. So if you're following a specific creator, if that creator has a private Facebook group or a Discord, or they're more responsive in the DMs, or they have live events or something like that, that creator is going to be in a way better position than creators who just publish stuff. So Gen Z loves the community aspect. They love chatting with each other. They love being able to know who else is a fan of this person or this brand. Another thing is they love a variety of content on Instagram. And I've been preaching this forever. People who just post the same reels over and over and over again, the same exact style, that's falling out of fashion, even though reels are obviously the best way to grow on Instagram. You need reels. You need slideshow posts. You need feed static image posts. You need Instagram stories. You need to go live. You basically need to hit Instagram from all facets. So that proves my point, which I've been saying for years now. And Gen Z is also into that. They're sick of seeing the same sort of content over and over and over again. And then there's going to be an increase in monetization. So obviously Instagram right now is rolling out subscriptions, which Dan has. It's rolling out Reels bonuses to random accounts, and a lot of creators are going to look to Instagram as their main source of income. And then finally, there's going to be some sort of like financial renaissance. A lot of Gen Z is looking for creators to educate them on financial issues. So this is a perfect opportunity for real estate agents to do those green screen videos that we always talk about with our articles, with the foreclosure article, and explain exactly what's going on, because Gen Z is thirsty for knowledge and financial knowledge. So agents are in a prime position to articulate this to their
the article we just talked about, it's a great green screen for agents to use, and how it relates to their market. Like, what's the foreclosure situation in your market? Are they even exist in, all those types of conversations? Eric, you bring up a good point about mixing up the content. I was just talking to Bobby this morning actually about this. I said, at the beginning of this year, I was on Instagram and on TikTok, I was at about 10,000 followers, maybe TikTok a little bit more. And today, both of them, I'm at over 50,000 on TikTok and almost 50,000 on Instagram. So within a year, I 5X, right? It took me forever to get to 10K on Instagram. Then I 5X that because I went all in on just Reels. And to your point, I've done what you said Instagram saying in the trend report not to do, which is do the same type of Reels over and over. Very seldomly do I do a static post. I never do the slide. Sometimes I'll mix it up a little bit, but most of the time it's the same reel. And I said to Bobby this morning, I said, hey, what got us here is not going to get us there. If I want to go another 5X, get to 250,000 followers in 2023, I'm going to have to disrupt what I'm doing. We're going to have to tear it down and go all in on another strategy as we go into 2023. Instagram's trend report is telling you what to do. They're saying, hey, this is what we want from you. This is how we're going to react positively to you. So we should follow that advice and do that and take that into consideration as we plan out our 2023 Instagram strategies. Dan, what are you thinking about when it comes to Instagram and taking your account to the next level? How are you coaching your agents to take their accounts to the next level in 23?
Yeah. And I love the fact that you said that you are going to be switching up for 2023, because what has worked in the past is not going to work in the future. And it's pretty interesting. I put out just a 5-minute long diabolical, almost rant on my page.
Most of yours are.
Yeah. Okay. And I was planning on just taking it down right away. And that actually was one of the most viewed, most shared, and most commented 5 minutes long that I've ever posted. And success leaves clues. So with the green screen, you guys were very quick to act on that. You could see other people that are successful are doing it. And somebody that I'm emulating, Sirhan, he's been doing a lot less of the high quality, that's your boy, high quality video production. And he's doing a lot more of this. And he's talking to the camera, and it's raw, and he's telling stories. He's telling origin stories. He's telling these deal stories. I think that that's something to disrupt your content with that is going to be very important.
He's somebody, your role model that you just mentioned, Ryan Sirhan, he's somebody who mixes his content up all the time. All the time. He does a fantastic job of continuing to mix it up.
I mix my content up all the time. Head to the Broke Agent Instagram account, Broke Agent Media Instagram account. You'll never see 5 or 6 reels in a row. It's reels, it's slideshows, it's static images, it's memes, it's screenshots of tweets. We do this with the Broke Agent Media account. Byron, your account has done a great job at the education content, but once your brain sees the same thing over and over, the same style, you almost not just yours, you just kind of
I agree.
Right by. It's like, well, I kind of know what I'm going to see here. Oh, there's a static image post explaining what I just said in a reel. Like, you could extract so many different feed posts from your reels.
I'm going to disrupt it in a big way. When I went all in on the caption style in January, of last year, it was early for the real estate industry. There's just no question about that. And then you did see kind of, a lot of people go to that, and that's great. I love doing that. And listen, come this January, you'll see some disruption to that approach, that I've had. And Eric, you're right. Jill does a phenomenal job with the Broke Agent Media account. And I think you took the credit for that there. But
Byron, why are you waiting until January to
act? Exactly. I thought you were Mr. I act now. Don't wait till the new year.
I do things for new content.
I'm gonna get an AI bot to post for me now.
Yeah, look at me.
Dan, FaceTime me at 4 a.m. I want to see if you're up.
Oh, buddy, I'm up 3:30. I'm up ahead of you.
Troy, your thoughts on the IG trend report, so we can get Dan to stay quiet for a little bit.
I think I'm like 4 years behind already. You know, I haven't done the video, haven't done the shorts, you know, pretty picture of the family together. But, you know, I think that moving forward, I feel like I've got an opportunity to play catch up because the trends reports are kind of changing back to what it was. So what I've been doing with my posts and then getting it mixed in and finally taking the leap to say, oh, okay, let's do some video content on there and, you know, run around Disneyland with the video camera might be the stuff that needs to happen.
Well, Troy,
But I don't think it's too late, right? Like there's an opportunity to go and do it and still grow. Like, and I think that's where you got to look at the trends report and say, even if you're getting into it now, it's not too late.
You also have a great advantage. You're one of the best writers in the entire industry, and you're the actual author of the content. So you green screening as the author, giving the insight to why you wrote, what made you write the article, is really powerful. And so, you know, we're looking forward, you know, now that you're a BAM creator, to, you know, Eric's gonna help you out with that a whole bunch, I'm sure of that. And
I just did a
looking
green
forward to you
screen
putting out a whole
mode.
bunch of new content.
Green screen mode of this article that we're talking about. Like I went through this exact same thing and did a green screen mode of this. You could literally do a green screen mode of your articles, or you could screenshot certain quotes and put those up as static images, as slideshows. Like we could turn every blog, as we're doing now, into more content, into 5 or 6 Instagram posts.
That's right. Hit the thumbs up if you're on the BAM Instagram. You saw Eric's reel that he's referencing. Please subscribe to this YouTube as well. We had a great debate last week, and it really helped bring a lot of new people to the channel, but we want to continue to elevate the real estate industry. So subscribe and get this shared with somebody in your office or somebody on your team that could benefit. Dan, I feel like there's a little tension between us right now, with you trying to steal my seat on the show many weeks ago, and then just a little bit of the barbs back and forth here on this show. You trying to name your dog after me, while I'm honored. I declined the request, everybody. So if you do see Dan running around calling his new dog, you know, Byron Jr., there's Eric's dog, which is ignoring.
It was not a request. It was not a request. And Byron, or for the people that are watching, if you made it this far, I have been waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning. And if you see my hair right here, look at this. Do you see this little gray patch that I'm growing? I am becoming you, Byron. The more that I wake up at 4 a.m., the more that I participate on the walkthrough, the more this is starting to grow.
Just wait until you turn 40 and then it starts coming in here. You know?
Oh, I already got it. I pluck it out. But my point is, Byron, I am coming for that seat. It is an honor to be here, but I am coming from that seat. I'll be there one day.
Last time we asked Dan to do a 5 a.m. call, he tuned in at 8 a.m. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the walk through the greatest show in real estate every single week. We went deep on these 4 topics. We go deep on topics every single week with the greatest panelists. Troy, we're so honored and privileged to have you as a part of BAM. And for Dan, my brother, I love you. And for Eric, the broke agent, who mixes up content better than anybody, we are out. We'll see you next week.
Replace me with the chatbot next time. I have a chatbot just sit here and talk in the mic. That's fine by me. I don't need
personality on these AI bots are
way
thrilling.
I love Eric.
Just have a computer talking. Yeah. I switch up content.